Can you pop in the chat box for those that are in here? Hi guys that have just joined. I can see some more people coming in, just letting you know. We're in a new webinar platform and I really hope it's working, but I can't see anyone typing into the chat box. I can see in the questions box, that'll do. Kate's in the questions box. Can anyone see the chat box and type into that? Give that a go. I think it's like a 20-second lag, but the chat box should be further down on the right-hand side. I hope that's the aim. Yeah, maybe we'll just use the question box. People are typing in the question box without any problem. Maybe we'll just use that. I'll just double check. Meetings, attendees can chat on. Cool. So I'll keep both open and we'll be able to just work in here, and I'm going to help you as much as I possibly can in our time together. Don't see a chat box, Kate. That's annoying. It says you can, but you obviously can't. Let's just use the questions box then. It works for me. Can only see a questions box, Karen. Can see and hear okay. Thanks, Candice. Okay, we're going to go with this, and we're just going to use the question box. It doesn't make a difference to me. They both look the same. So let's give it a go today, guys. We'll get as much out of our time together as we possibly can. I know I've got quite a few questions that were sent in advance from people that couldn't make it, like a lot. So if we get to those later on, that'll be good. But for now, I'm here for all of you guys who are here live. Let's give everyone another, I'm going to say 2 minutes to log in and make sure that we don't miss anyone. I'm just going up here. I think I've got clearer space. Let's do this. Got my board ready to go. Awesome. Now, let me know what you guys have been working on recently, what the focus has been this week. For me, the focus has been, well, today especially, the focus is the Doers Inner Circle for my my kind of closer mastermind. These are girls who are coaches, consultants, or professional services, so people that are similar brands to mine, not similar brands, similar business model to mine, want to build my business in their industry. So I've been organising our weekend away retreats. I've been organising all of their monthly doing kits. That just went off to the printers last week, so I've been under the pump trying to make it amazing. But in creating content, I keep falling into my perfectionism trap. I know a lot of us have these, particularly as chicks, keep falling into that, so I've just been having to put really strict deadlines on myself and just move it on. But I kind of was about 6 days late with one of my deadlines, but I'm really glad I was because the content's really good. What else have you girls been working on? Let me know in the questions box. Fill me in what the projects have been for this week. So mine's been Inner Circle, and probably also I've been doing a lot on my email community. So there's 200,000 people on my email community that haven't ever purchased from me yet, that I've been ignoring a little bit and haven't been giving enough love, or building relationships, or trying to find out what they want from me, how they want me to talk to them. So I was focusing a lot on that at the beginning of the year for a couple of months, and then I just got busy and traveled too much and then kind of put it on the back burner. And as someone told me recently, when they found out how many emails I had, and then they asked when I'd last emailed them, and then they said to me, "Are your fingers broken?" And I said, "That's a great comment. That is very true. Why am I not talking to my community who have given me an email and said they'd like me to talk to them?" Done. So I'm trying to get back into the rhythm and start emailing a little bit more to my community and giving heaps of value and stuff like that. So they're on my to-do list at the moment, plus the team's growing rapidly, so I've got another 3 hires that I have to make soon. Awesome. Kate's been working on her Facebook ads, her ClickFunnels, yep, linking all of that in with her pixels and her website, awesome. Cool. Awesome. Good, good. Let's get to work. So we've got a... Oh, thanks, Kate. Kate's loving the realness and honesty. Yeah. I think sometimes people think that everything I do just turns to gold, and I'm like, no, you just see the one of the 10 things that I've tried and the other 9 failed horribly, and then this one just worked. You just gotta want it enough to keep on getting back up and trying a different angle. And eventually, if you've got a product or service that's solving a problem, it works. You just gotta keep going until it does. So I'm trying to show you what I'm doing to remove as much of that as I can, but I can't eliminate it. It's just not possible. Okay, let's get to work. So we've got a really small group of people here live today, but I'm okay with that because I think a lot of people just couldn't make it for some reason today because I got a lot of pre-questions. So we'll get through it. And you guys get lots of personal one-on-one love and care today, which would be good. So right-hand chat box, if you haven't joined me in an office hours before or any of my live sessions before, welcome. We're in a new webinar platform, so we don't really know what we're doing, but it's working okay so far, I think. Questions can go in the right-hand question box. I don't know if they're public or not. I can turn off the public nature of them in my other webinar, so don't ask anything too weird because I think everyone can see them in this. I like to keep it private so you can ask whatever you want. But anyway, so I'll be able to work through the questions one at a time. I got starting at the beginning and working my way up. And as I go through the questions, if you just pop in there any questions that you've got, if you've sent me a question in advance, like I know Kate has, I think Jane has, I think Karen maybe has. If you've sent me any questions in advance through the portal because you weren't sure if you could make it or not, and now you're here, can you let me know that in the questions box? Just say, hey Grace, can you check out the portal? I submitted a question. That way I'll be able to go in and make sure that you're answered in order because I answer everyone who's live first before I start on answering the people who couldn't make it live. Cool, awesome. So it's private questions, someone just told me. They can't see anyone else's, so that's awesome. Private questions, so you can ask silly questions because I'm totally fine with that. Okay, let's get to work. I believe, who was first? Kate. She's already told me that. She has submitted a question. Kate's been patiently waiting. Let's go, Kate. Okay, that's right. You've been building your Facebook ad. You want some feedback on that, so she's attached that. She has two very similar but slightly different avatars. One is a busy professional mum, the other is just a busy mum. Sorry, other way around. One is a busy professional woman, the other is a busy mum. Yeah, that makes more sense. So she's written two slightly different worded ads and images and asking which one she thinks I think she should start with. Any feedback, please? She hasn't got them into Facebook yet. She's just made mock-ups in Word. Cool. And then you've also got I feel like you had a second part to that question as well. Cool. One second. Okay, what? Then you go into answers. You don't have the other. One second. Cool. Just reading the rest of her question. Okay, you know what, if you haven't had, so just a quick question from Kate as well, because she, we were talking about this last week and I need to do a training video on it and put it somewhere, right? How when we're building our business, we build in stages. So, and the business model that we use is in stages. So usually people start off with more of a one-to-one approach offline, where they're doing everything more manually and trying to acquire customers through old school techniques. And then they take that one-on-one model and they do that online. So they do more online coaching or consulting or online, acquiring new customers and service-based businesses and all that kind of stuff, doing that more online, e-commerce stores and so on. And then they transfer that same kind of, all those same learnings into one-to-many online. And that's where we do online programs and we do more online communities and we're able to scale and get more leverage, I guess, in what we're creating. So offline, one-to-one. The next great step is then being able to take that online, one-to-one, and then being able to take that online, one-to-many. Example, personal trainer working with one-on-one clients. Then personal trainer, let's go life coach. They're sometimes easy to do. Life coach working one-on-one, in a clinic somewhere with face-to-face people. Then life coach working online with one-on-one consults with people and doing, Skype consults and doing, but still one-on-one. And then life coach creating big online programs, online communities and doing one-to-many, doing kind of more group stuff. So Kate's just wondering where she sits because she's actually got 6 years experience in a yoga studio that she's not the official owner of, but basically runs everything. She does retreats, she does weekend away stuff, she does classes weekly. She has 6 weekly classes. So she's like, where should I sit in there? Because she's thinking I kind of nailed the one-to-one. And I agree with that in a sense. The only thing that I'm wondering though is that you haven't got experience, maybe you do, in marketing one-to-one. Are you the person who's in charge of marketing that studio and filling up those classes? If you have had a lot of experience in doing that and you're kind of the main one on the ground, which kind of sounds like you are, then yes, you could go more to an online framework. But if you're the one that's been literally just doing the classes and you haven't had any experience yet in the marketing and filling those classes, it's easier to learn the marketing on filling those classes than it is to learn marketing on filling a whole new brand new program kind of thing. So if you're not involved in the marketing at the moment, I would try and get yourself involved with the marketing and build that up. If you've already done that, you've already got experience in that, then yes, I believe you're ready for the next step. I still don't want to make you too one-to-many. If I were you, I would sell yoga retreats. I would sell kind of weekend experiences before I went to one-to-many. So I would try and do a little bit more one-on small group and focus on that yoga workshops and retreats. So workshops and retreats is the way that I would approach that online. So if you've already had experience filling those offline in the face-to-face environment, now let's take those online. You'll still run the retreat face-to-face so that we can get close to your market. We don't separate ourselves too quickly and wonder why everyone stops connecting with us, right? We're going to stay pretty close in the way that we fulfill the service, but let's start marketing them online like I do with my doing days and all my face-to-face events. Let's try and do those same kind of principles in your space with either, one-day workshops, half-day workshops, and/or weekend retreats. That's kind of the way that I'll be approaching it in your case. I hope that makes sense, Kate. And in terms of your Facebook ad, awesome. So she's going through a lead magnet, and at the moment I think her lead magnet's going towards more of an online course, and you can test that, but I think you'll find that it'll be easy to get some money in the bank and some better traction online up front if you go to something that has a high perceived value, which is a face-to-face relationship, which is something like your workshop or retreat. But you can easily just swap out your second pages, right? Put something else in there. Just to let you know, WHACK is W-H-A-K, A-C-K, out of whack, W-H-A-C-K. Cool. Awesome. So the first ones were for professionals, I'm guessing. No, that's cute. I really like the second photo too. I like them both, but I really like her second photo's got her just kind of like smiling. Really, it's not superposed. It feels really real, I guess, which works. And she's got an image of her downloadable, and then she's got kind of quite a bright background that's really creating some contrast there. My only thing with that one, it will just make it even more awesome. If you made she's got a downloadable that's got like her lead magnet is a downloadable, right? And she's got an image of that in her, an image of that in her Facebook image. It would be even better if we could make it is it my eCover Maker? Yeah, myecovermaker.com, as in egg, myecovermaker.com. I feel like you can do one for free, can't you? Free, 5 covers. You can do 5 covers for free, and it will just make it look like a proper guide. It'll make it look like a physical guide. You know how they kind of got the angle and they've got almost a little bit of a like a sheen to it and shadows on it and that kind of stuff, so it looks like an actual product. That will just work better and make them realize that this is actually a downloadable than just an image of the front of the downloadable. So if you go to My eCover Maker, you literally just upload your cover and it will automatically turn it into a really cool looking like little book, right? Put that on instead and that'll look hot. Yeah, cool. So I would just also remember too, the benefits that you've got listed here in your Facebook ad are focusing on, like you're just kind of saying, particularly in that today I'm sharing bit, where you say 3 essential tips to help you start yoga. In this guide, I break down the exact steps you need to take to start yoga at home and how to stick with it, because that's usually the hardest part. That's cool, but that's got 0 benefits in it. Particularly at the top, when you're not necessarily focusing on people. P.S. there's a typo in downloadable as well. And make the brackets square brackets, which are just above, just beside the P. Make them square brackets rather than round brackets. And make sure that you capitalize the first letter of every word in your subject, in your heading. So essential, capital E, tips, capital T, to capital T, start, capital S, yoga, capital Y, right? But I recommend you to put, well, I know we need to put some more, everything else is good about it, we just need to put some more things in there that are relating to the benefits. Because I don't think at this point this target market is doing yoga because they want to do yoga. I think they're doing yoga, if you're talking about the pain point, they're doing yoga because they're stressed and overwhelmed, blah, blah, right? Find out how you can create a calm space in less than 10 minutes, 3 essential tips to create a calm space in your home for 10 minutes of, and to feel rejuvenated and refreshed for the challenges that lie ahead, or, whatever it looks like. I don't think they're wanting to learn about how to do yoga. They're wanting to, that's not the problem that they've got to solve. The problem they've got to solve is feeling overwhelmed and never finding me time. So that's what your solution has to point to. Does that make sense? So that's what I'd be doing with that one there. Now, one more part to that. Cool. Both, Kate. Should I do online workshops or face-to-face workshops? I would try both. So there's no reason why this month you can't focus on trying to push a face-to-face workshop, and next month you focus on pushing an online workshop. And both of them you can sell into the weekend retreat at the end. But absolutely no reason why you can't do both and test, and you just find out. You find out which one was more popular to sell it, which one had the better rock-up rate. You might find that mums prefer the online version of the workshop. The same kind of workshop, right, but just 2 different, but just literally one face-to-face, one online. And find out which one ended up selling more, which one had the more serious, more committed people in the space. Yeah, so both of those work. I hope that helps with that feedback, to help you keep moving forward and keep testing things until you hit that winning formula. Once you hit that winning formula, you just get to scale, right? It's just all the testing and the presenting different offers to your market to find out what it is exactly that they're after. Yeah. Next question was from, for those that have just joined, questions can just pop into the question box. You'll see, I think I accidentally disabled the chat box, and I don't know why. So pop them into the question box, and I'll be able to answer them in order. If you've sent me a question in the portal, through the portal in advance, then let me know that in the question box, and I'll be able to jump in and answer that as well. Don't wait for me to answer it. Next question was, I believe, from Jane. Yes, it was. Jane, got yours. Can you take a look at my lead magnet and my thank you page? I think you've sent me the edit screen. Yeah, you've sent me the edit screen, Jane. So try and resubmit that question. You just need to make sure that you send me the preview option or the published option. So it won't have the word edit in the link. If it has the word edit in the link, you've given me like a private link to your back-end editing of your system, and legally I'm not, I don't go into anyone's system and touch anything in anyone's system, but I can absolutely look at published or preview links that public people can kind of see. You don't have to let anyone else see it, but just send me a published link instead. Now I'll be able to check that out. Karen. Have you submitted one in the portal as well, Karen, or just here? Oh, yes, you have. Cool. So Karen's looking for new ways to advertise her tours, and girlies in office hours, like, let's help her out with this. If anyone's got any thoughts or ideas, help her out. She wants to think outside of the box. Basically, Karen promotes, or she offers food and wine tours of Argentina, right, in September and October this year. She's got a higher price point, so she's around the 14K per person. And she ran a Facebook ad without any results, trying to think of the offer to take people to the landing page. Did you get 0 emails, Karen? Is that what you're even saying? We'll help you out with angles, but if you've got 0 emails, I'd be intrigued to know how much you spent to get 0 emails. Just let me know that in the questions box as well. Totally. Totally. So here's what we need to do. So you're in a market where there's a luxury product or service, right? And in the luxury market, you've got the same principles still apply. We still want to first capture an email address, and then we want to develop a really personal relationship with people and guide them to the next step. And we need to be able to do that 24/7 online. They don't have to rely on you to be awake or available or picking up your phone for that first step to happen, right? But we've got to make sure that we keep a lot more human contact in a luxury niche, like as you're saying, like selling a car or selling high-end holidays. They need a lot more human contact than someone would if they were buying a $97 online course, right? So in your case, I would definitely be using the consult funnel. So I would be going from a lead magnet through to the opportunity to chat to one of the travel consultants and you know, design your own custom experience and receive your no obligation tailored quote for your upfront trip to Argentina. And I would use urgency based on the fact that dates are booking out quickly, because I'm sure there's a cap to a point of how many people you could work with in any given month. So you don't need to say that number, but you can absolutely use urgency around bookings, around deadlines of when things are due, using that urgency in there as well. Limited spots available, things like that. Now, and in terms of the consult, I'll be making sure that I use the word no obligation. And I would talk about designing your custom, you know, your personalized trip to Argentina, in the sense that, sure, there's probably a model that you have to work to, and there's probably only so many options that they can customize, but there's still an element of the trip they can customize, where they're flying from, what dates they're picking, you know, that kind of stuff, right? And so that's kind of the way that we encourage them to trust us enough to put in on that form, that second page, their first name, last name, email, phone. So your thank you offer, first name, last name, email, phone, to have a chat with one of our travel consultants and get a tailored, no obligation, you know, travel plan for travel experience. You know, kind of you've got to use the luxury words, right, that you're seeing. And the best way, from a luxury point of view, the best way to find those words, honestly, go get something like the Robb Report, ROBB report, or in a magazines, right, in a newsagent's Robb Report, or any of those high-end like boat magazines, car magazines, any kind of men and women, but mainly men's magazines are great for this kind of stuff, because they're all about prestige and status. And you just, or if I'm doing a luxury product or service, I was doing a luxury high-end physical product for hospitality, right? And it was like a high-end 20 grand kind of product for hospitality, so I had to go luxury, and it was all about the brand and the name and the presence and all that kind of stuff. That's why people bought it and paid 20 grand instead of 5 grand for an alternative. So I needed to be able to sell this 20 grand thing, and went and got luxury car magazines, and just the words in those, they're hilarious, but that's the way you need to talk, particularly the BMW, the Ferrari, any of those kinds of, the Porsche, the Lamborghinis, the ads, the big ad copy in there, and just the words like excellence and words like customized and personalized and things like that. Luxury, blah, blah, work really well. So if you need some inspiration as to how you can talk about the experience and tailoring their own experience in Argentina, then do that. Now, how do we get them in the front door though? Because that offer to come and join you in that consult is the second step, that tailored, requesting that tailored customized, you know, travel itinerary is the second step. The first step needs to be something where we're giving them something, because on Facebook we can't go straight to the sell. We definitely can't go straight to a sell to chat about something that's expensive, right? So we might be able to go to the sell if something was under $50 and it was an impulse high desire buy, but not in your space, right? We need to start building the relationship by giving them something first. So in your, and we want to capture an email to do that, so that we've got some form of relationship that we can start with, at least an email address. The way that I'll be doing it in your case is, like with this kind of stuff, and particularly in the luxury end, you need to be able to paint a picture that they can imagine themselves in. So that's the whole aim of your lead magnet, painting a picture that they can imagine themselves in. And that's why in your space, I would be doing kind of behind the scenes or GoPro videos or some sort of video, almost like case study, but like not case study, because we're not talking about a business growth or something. We're talking about someone's experience, kind of doing those more visual lead magnet. So I would think your lead magnet might be a video and see, you know, behind the scenes of how, you know, Jane and John tick 10 things off their bucket list in this incredible Argentinian adventure, or, you know, the perfect South American travel itinerary. You know, go behind the scenes and walk with them on this incredible experience throughout Argentina. You know, something like that. And it could be images up front, like some cool images. Just get someone from, you know, a videographer from university or someone that you know who's kind of good with that kind of stuff to package up a little bit of video. Hopefully in time we'll do this with actual footage, right? And you can usually get this online where you can buy footage, or the providers that you're using, the accommodation. I know up in Mount Lofty, the place where I was holding my events, they paid for their own marketing, they paid for a drone to do this incredible footage all through the venue. It's like, great, am I able to use that to promote your venue? Yes, of course, awesome, right? So having those, using what marketing collateral your partners or the Argentinian Tourism Board or anyone who will give you stuff to use, packaging that up in there as well, and or your own content in time, and or images if needed. So I would be doing some sort of behind the scenes, fly on the wall kind of experience, so that they can see and just paint this gorgeous picture that they just can totally see themselves in and have a massive desire building to be there and to experience that for themselves. And they put an email address in to check out that video. On the next page, you show them that video and then invite them at the end to create their own experience of Argentina with you, blah, blah. And remember, they're coming to you usually, always, 88% of the time, 88, that's a weird number, 98% of the time, they're coming to you because they know that you're the experts in Argentinian travel and they want you to tell them the best route for them. So don't think that just because they're coming to you, they want to be able to build their own trip. They'd actually prefer to let the experts do that for them and suggest the way that they should be managing their trip. So as a result, it makes it very easy for you to sell into a pre-prepared package, because you are the experts. You've done this a gazillion times. You know what you're doing, and you know the best way to experience Argentina. Hi, Savannah. Gentry submitted a question through the portal. I saw yours, Gentry. Thank you for letting me know in the questions box. Cool. Okay, yes, good point. So Gentry's saying, if I only have the first month built in my membership program, is it okay to still offer a pay in full membership for a year? They wouldn't get access to all of the modules because I haven't built them yet, but is that okay? Absolutely. You need to do that for profitability. You need to have that as the upsell. But there's absolutely no reason why that can't drip out. So the way that I normally do it, in those early days, if I don't, and this is a good example of this is Mike Dillard from Self-Made Man. He has a Self-Made Man Society, and with the Self-Made Man Society, he just gave a great deal. You pay in full price. If they don't get it unlocked, then it has to just be a great deal. So it's 8, 9, or 10 months. 12 months access for the price of 8, 9, or 10 months. So the reason they're getting the pay in full is not because they get it immediately unlocked, but because they're paying the pay in full, so they get the discount on the price. So yeah, 8, 9, or 10 months they pay for and get 12 months access. So figure out what that is for you. If it's a really automated system, it really should be closer to 8 months because it doesn't cost you anymore. If you've got lots of manual parts of your program or lots of face-to-face opportunities or something like that, then maybe it's closer to 10 months access. Sorry, 12 months access for the price of 10. 8, 9, or 10 months. No, you don't have to have it all done and have it unlocked immediately. I would like you, and I wouldn't suggest that you build the whole portal anyway up front, but I would suggest that you test this, you launch this baby with that offer in it, just having it, the video saying that they get that amazing discount, right? Launch the funnel with that in it. I would like to think that if that funnel, once that funnel ends up humming and it starts being filled and you're like, great, I've solved a problem for my market, this is what they really, really want, I'm able to now scale this and run with this. Once you've proven that model works, I would aim within 4 weeks to try and get just some bare bones of that structure, of that whole 12 months together, just some bare bones. And I promise you that if you've got paying members in there and you've got your first like 5 or 10 people that have paid you unlocked, no, not unlocked, paid you in full, that's great motivation for you to be like, in 4 weeks' time be able to say, surprise, because you're a painful member, I'm also now going to unlock all of your modules for you. So, and it won't be perfect, but it's the first version. And then you can continue to build and grow it, and over the next 2, 3, 4 months, you'll be able to continue to update and make that content amazing. But I would aim, it'll be easier to sell if you could swap out that video in 4 weeks' time, once you've proven this is what people want. Swap out that video to say you get the discount and you get it unlocked, because it's an even easier sell in that, at that point. But you don't have to start like that, totally. Good question. Next question is from Karen Kosh. Karen, no, did I ask it was Karen? No, that was from earlier, and you were saying, I'll just hit refresh. That's right, you sent the links that weren't public. Let me see if they are now. Have you resubmitted it? I'm just refreshing my questions. Don't think you've resubmitted it yet, unless you spelled your name wrong. I'll just go down to the bottom. No, I don't think you've submitted it yet, but Karen, just either if you've sent me one in the portal, I'm pretty sure this was us talking earlier. I'll just check if you've submitted it in the Identity Project questions instead. 1 second. Sort by first name, Karen. Yeah, no, I don't have it in here with me, but resubmit it in the portal or just pop it in the chat box if you'd like some help. Hi, Karen Mayer, welcome. Okay, Karen sent a question in the portal. I'm late joining, so I'm not sure if you've responded it yet. No. Oh, I got 4 questions. Naughty, naughty. Okay. Okay, so you've written 2 options for the Facebook ad. I think it's just 4 attachments, but you haven't actually given me. Oh, you just wanted me to have a look at some images. I can do that. I will allow it. Let me just have a quick look. Do you think this image is good? Or this one? Or this one? Okay, let me have a look. I'll read your copy first for the Facebook ad. The question at the top is too me focused and not enough them focused. So when you're saying want to know the simple secrets that I use to acquire stunning art for my home, they don't actually know who you are yet. They don't trust you. They don't care yet. I know it all sounds horrible, but it's just true. So they aren't going to probably say yes to that question. But you could say, and it works better if you're hitting on a pain point, but I know you don't have heaps in this space. Like, it's harder to get a pain point than it is in others. But even like want to know the simple secrets that that experienced art collectors use to acquire stunning art for their home, ... on a budget, you know, and then you can go into what you're talking about. But it really doesn't follow my flow. Have you watched my flow? Like, you've got, I can see how you've got the this week, you've got like your prescription, you've got your urgency, you've got your next steps, and you try to start off with a question, but it's just not, it's not the way that the Facebook ad should be written, in the sense that you always start off with where they're at and their problem and relate to them, and then you, and kind of show them that you get them, you empathize with them, and then you transition into this light bulb moment, this aha moment that you had, and then into a brand new day. So, I mean, you could test one of these ads and test another ad, but the way that I write my ads usually works much better. This is a good story, but I still think I still think people won't care enough to read it because they don't know you or trust you yet. Maybe if the question at the beginning was a little bit more them focused, maybe, but like, it's good, it's a good story and it's relating. Yeah, it's just not quite there. So that's just the bottom bit and the top bit are cool, but does that make sense? Just the way that we haven't got there, you understanding where they're at and empathizing with them. I know how, like, just the way that you're running it just needs to be repackaged so that you're focusing more on them, not necessarily on this story of your friend, because they don't care about your friend right now. They just don't. They care about them. They're inherently selfish, and that's fine, but we just need to talk more to them and where they're at. But you can use all this similar kind of language in the way that you talk about them. You know, I know how frustrating it is to look at empty walls and how that impacts on the space and how you feel in it. I know how intimidating it can be, you know, speaking with collectors and designers to get great art at a budget style, at a budget to style your home, blah, blah, that kind of thing, and then go into when you discovered art and moving through into what that now means for you, a brand new day. You're close, but not quite. I just think we're focusing too much on reader and not enough on them. In terms of images, none of these quite work in the sense that they need to be lighter. They're all a bit dark, and the photos are a bit too like homemade, the photos, in the sense that they're not professional photos. Not that they have to be professional photos, but they need to be clear and visible and desirable. So I wouldn't do the one of the lounge or the one of the dancer. The green one could work. That's looking better. But remember, the image in Facebook is like this. So you'll probably have to cut it off like around the top drawer handle of the set of drawers, and to make it the right width. So yeah, I would be going more that angle with the way that you do your artwork. Also remember though that a female face is looked at a lot more and engaged with a lot more on Facebook ads than not having a female face. So I know you're working with artwork and it's really hard to figure out how a female face works with that. But for example, when I was thinking of another woman who does a home styling ad, she had a photo of her, like it was a gorgeous photo that had been taken in this amazing space, and her just kind of friendly standing to the side, not superposed, but it still had a female in it, and they just get looked at for longer. So keep that in mind. I hope that helps. You can probably start off with the green one and just see how it goes, and if it just bombed after 3 days and you weren't getting results, I would probably try changing out the image. Potentially. That's just the feedback from my experience. Cool. Yes. So, cool. So Jackie's wondering, so she likes my whiteboard style videos, and I used to have a lot of whiteboard style videos in my course, and she's wondering why the change from whiteboard to slide pack. A few reasons why. In some of them, the stuff that I was teaching on, it just couldn't be taught on a whiteboard. It would just be, because it wasn't drawable. So a lot of the stuff that I'm teaching on, that's, I don't know, I guess it's heavier content. It's more content rich than something visual. So there are a lot of videos where I was like, I can't kind of explain this visually, so I'm going to need to put in a slide pack. There are other ones though that the problem with the whiteboard videos, and I've got a I'm building a whiteboard, like constructing a whiteboard stand and setting up a studio in my home. I've got my director flying over on Sunday, and he's with us for a week, and he's setting up a full studio. The problem with the whiteboard videos is it's hard to do it with reflections on the screen and all that, on the shiny screen and all that kind of thing. So it takes me ages to set it up. And if it's for a video that I know that industry is regularly changing, or I might want to tweak it, it kind of doesn't make sense for me to go and do a huge whiteboard setup video, you know, every couple of weeks. Whereas when you're using the slide packs, you can more easily change things out to keep people abreast of the latest things that are happening. So one, it's easy to keep the videos updated, but two, a lot of my videos, I was like, if I just sit there and talk them out face to camera, just think about your content, right? Some videos, if you sit there and talk face to camera, because of the amount of content you've got to say, it will become really boring, or it's just not drawable. And so in those cases, I've used a slide pack. And I was doing a whole heap of research on the way people learn, and there's some great stats and studies coming back from slide packs and people note-taking from slide packs more than they do a visual depiction. So visual works for some people and captures it in their head more, but normally they can't remember and what's not immerse, but kind of remember, and lots of visuals doesn't sort of sink in and be remembered easily. So if it's a really meaty bit of content that you're giving and you're drawing heaps of stuff on the board, they're more inclined to take notes if they're seeing slides than taking notes if they're seeing a visual, because if they're seeing a visual, they tend to more pause and watch rather than write. Does that make sense? But I definitely want to be doing more whiteboards in my courses, both in the Academy and the Identity Project, Workshop Project, and all the things that I'm doing, which is why I'm building a new whiteboard so that I can film good videos that are high quality. I don't want bouncing happening on the board. I don't want, the angles wrong. And it just, the way that I did it originally, you were asking how I did the whiteboard videos. I took this off. Mine actually comes off, right? I'm not going to be able to put this back on now. Mine comes off. I took it off. I laid it on a table. If you want to know the actual behind the scenes of how I did this, it's incredibly techy. Took it off, laid it on a table, grabbed a box of A4 reflex paper, put that onto one end so it was on a slope, right? And so it was resting up like this. I laid down the box of reflex paper and rested it on top. Then I had my two, just those cheap studio lights that I have in the video section of the Doing Academy. Had those shining on from both angles, but they had to be a fair way back. I think I had to turn off the lights in the room because they were reflecting and causing lots of bounce. And I had the lights a fair way off on a real angle coming across opposite each other. So they weren't really shining directly on, because if they're shining directly on, you just get the bounce and you get the horrible reflection stuff, right? So I managed to set up my lights, and that took me ages to try and figure out how to do it without getting a bounce. I just kept on repositioning them. I think they almost at the end were shining at each other rather than down too much. They were like shining more like that, so the reflection was kind of hitting just off the end of the whiteboard there and just off the end of the whiteboard there. Anyway, then I got my whiteboard markers out and drew it. Now in terms of my camera, this took me ages to set up as well. I went to a camera store near me and they had like this, I think it was $90, this arm. So I had my normal tripod, and then I just went in and asked for an arm because I wanted to be able to put an arm on my tripod and extend it so that my camera was pointing down instead of up. So this arm cost me $90 and it mounts onto my tripod, and I screw my camera to the end of it. So the camera's kind of on a tripod and then reaching down over. So I put the tripod on that side of the whiteboard and reach the camera down over. It just took a lot of setting up, like a lot, which is why my new version, I've got a whiteboard like this standing on this gorgeous kind of wooden frame that's being built at the moment. You might have seen an example of it, maybe in one video somewhere. I've done like 5 or 6 videos on this version so far, but not many, because that was over in New Zealand. So I'm making one of my own for my office. It's got a nice wooden frame. You've got to be careful because you get this happening all through the video, which is really annoying. So I built a really solid wooden frame, so I don't think that'll happen. I didn't, let's be honest, someone else has, or is in the process of. But then your lights are the problem. You need to light up your face enough so that you're in the video, but you can't light it up too much because the whiteboard gets reflection. So I'll be able to easily, when my director's here, I'm going to take a video of how we've set up the studio so you can see exactly where everything's positioned. We're going the next level, and we're using quite expensive stuff because we're at the level, and you'll be doing this down the track as well. Once you get to a certain level of members and income, you'll then want to invest more into studios. But I'll show you how we set everything up so you can see visually how that comes together and try and work out, in most cases, just a cheaper option like what I did when I was in the startup when it came to video marketing. Yeah, I like whiteboard too. Good question. But it's harder to set up than everything else, Jackie. Okay, Amanda's question is in the portal. Hope that helps, Jackie. Amanda, all right, Grace. I have taken a lot of time to think about that feedback that you gave on the network marketing industry. Cool. Cool. So Amanda just wants me to check out her lead magnet. And then wants to transition them to an online challenge. And then transition them into her network marketing program. So her online challenge will be at a really low price point, and then transition them into the more high-end network marketing offer, which is around 150 with a 10% coupon. So I see what you're doing there. Yeah, I like this. This is pretty valuable. Cool. So visually, there's just too much, particularly on the workout page, there's just too much, and I don't know if the same is for you, but for me it's all running off the page. I can't actually see the full layout. So have a look at that. You may want to get, it's just all, the borders aren't right. I don't know what's happened with the borders on this page, but the borders are really hard to, they're like that big, and there's words going off the edge of the page for me when I look at this PDF version. I like the look and feel, but I would just get someone in Fiverr or Upwork, or you know, just go back to Canva if that's where you've made it. Just try and get this looking a little bit cleaner from a design point of view. And also the first page, I'd break that up into 2 pages because there's a lot of text there, and I put more images in there. And I'd probably put an image of you, an image of food, that kind of stuff. The last page where you talk about yourself, again, that's 2 pages. And I'd again put in photos of you before and afters. And because I know that you lost 22 pounds, which is great. So some before and afters, and yeah, some nice, relatable family, you know, a family photo, or you laughing and moving and whatever that looks like. Now, I was going to say something else about this as well, but otherwise the content's really good and it's pretty well packed. The good thing to know in your niche is that some of the most clicked on, so I've got a Facebook tool that allows you, it's like this paid software that I've got, that allows you to look at the top ads, top performing ads, the ads that are getting the most engagement, the most click-through rate. You can choose what you want it to be based on. I usually base it on click-through rate because I'm wanting to get people to come over and join the community. And you can see the highest converting, highest engaging ads in Facebook out of the tens of millions of ads that are out there, right? So the amazing thing is if you just go broad and just say any industry and you pick out the top 10 ads, I reckon in my experience, 4 out of the 10 have all been recipes. Like out of every industry that's out there, 4 out of 10 have been recipe-based ads. So everyone loves a recipe. Always has, always will. So you've got the option to, like, I would focus when you're talking about the 6-day slim down, I would talk about the fact that it's a challenge, and I would also talk about the fact that you've got recipes, and I would use a food image because everyone just loves clicking on a food image. It's ridiculous. So that's the way that I would go with promoting this lead magnet. Now, the next step, do you put in your own product in between, or do you put in a network marketing product straight away? I would test it. I'd test it. I'd try and send 100 people. I'd try and get 100 people's emails. So if you're looking at the lead magnet page, right, you can kind of see this well enough. Right, so you're talking about the beginning, going from a Facebook ad to your lead magnet, then to the 37, then to network marketing, a 150. I'd be really intrigued to see if you tested it out, get 100 people to give you an email and have this page as the next page, the $37 offer. And then swap it out. Once you've got 100 emails, 100 people have seen this offer, have a look at what it's converted at. If 100 people have seen this offer and like 3 have bought, it's not good enough, right? That's not what they really, really want. It might be worth going from a lead magnet into a the network marketing product directly. And you'll see, okay, let's put another whole group of people through this, wait till I've got 100 emails. What happened when I went directly to the network marketing offer? They're your two options I would see in that space. And just don't forget, don't waste your email list, right? You're collecting emails. After you've tested both of these, you have 200 emails. Don't waste that. Keep talking to those guys. Keep on inviting them to, you know, if I were you and I was in this, I'd be inviting them to like pick up the phone and have a chat with me or reply to an email and just kind of getting as close to these people as I can. I know you can't do that when you've got 2,000 customers, but in those early days when you're trying to get traction, you're trying to connect with your market, you want to find out what they really, really want, it's a great way to do that. Just make yourself super available up front, and then we'll be able to put some boundaries in as the business starts to grow and you're making more money and you're having like a wider reach. As you scale, we'll take down the accessibility to you in time. Hope that helps, Amanda. And yeah, if you're doing network marketing, if you can do a 10% coupon code within the next, available for the next, 7 days or something like that, that's usually the best way to go about it. Tonya, I want to film my videos today for my funnel, but I know you said for anything sales you need to be standing. I do say that, don't I? I'm having trouble figuring out what should be in the background, a plain wall, or do I need to create a set? I don't really have many things in my house I could do a set with. In my house, I have white or dark green walls, which would be better. Cool. So sets can look really cheap if you don't put a lot of thought and time into them. It can look really homemade. So when I was starting out, and particularly when I was starting out living in a crappy house as well, that just, I didn't have anything nice, I would just stand in front of walls because it's much better and people can't pass comment or judgment as much as they can when you've got a set happening. So standing in front of a white wall, don't go the green, go white. Go white, just make sure you're not wearing anything light. Try and wear a black top or, something that's got some depth to it so that you're not being lost in the wall. I would then stand in front of the wall by about at least a metre at least in front of the wall, put my lights out here, shining in on my face so they were quite wide, right? Don't have them here where you have all sorts of shadows happening, out to the side. And so the shadows, same as the whiteboard, the shadow, if my light's coming from over here, one, it's catching this side of my face and lighting it up. Same with this one over here is capturing that side. Oh, go away, team. So like this, and then it's coming across, and the shadow that it's casting of my head is going outside of the camera frame because it's so wide. If it was here, the shadow would be right behind me, but because it's out here, the shadow is like way out that side of the room. So you can't see it in the camera. I did some really good videos in front of a white wall. And I just made sure the lights were like crazy bright, like really bright, and it worked really well. Because it really lit me up and it almost made the rest of the room look like a little bit darker, which worked quite well. So yeah, you can absolutely do that, Tonya. And standing, yes, I see too many sales videos where people are sitting and I'm just like, it just doesn't work. It's very rare for it to work when you're sitting. It has to be a hot scene, right? I think that's what the main difference is. It has to be a really attractive scene for you to sit and watch compared to, for you to sit and speak compared to standing and speaking. You can get away with a lot cheaper budgets when you're standing. Cool. You're welcome, guys. Yeah, feel free to head on off if you've got your question answered. Yeah, so Jane, you just have to give me the publish link. So I've got that in my training videos of how to get the publish link for lead pages. Jane's just trying to send me her lead pages link. It'll just be in Google if you want a step-by-step. It's like there's like a publish button in all of your pages. And if you hit the publish button, it'll say, do you want to publish it on WordPress or do you just want to get this link? Just give me the link. I'm just trying to find you how do I get the external link or external URL or link for my lead pages? Yeah, it's really, really, so you can either click on the page on the dot on the page. I'll just copy this in for you. Click on the dot when you've got all your list of pages, you'll see a dot at the end. Click on that and hit publish options. When you hit publish options, it'll say publish status and it will give you a link. So I would definitely use that. I'll just kind of, how can I reply just to you, Jane? Send privately. I think that worked. Cool. Woohoo, Helen, welcome. Awesome. Oh, thanks, Karen. Karen Koch. Okay, Helen's question. I have loaded up the next steps in our funnel to the portal. Cool. Love some feedback on it. Sam. You're not Helen. Sam at Bluefoot Travel. Why are you in under Helen Edwards? Is that a typo or is that the system's done something weird to you? Where are you, Sam? There you are. Cool. Okay, so your Likeable Lady emails. Yeah, welcome. Loving this program and the feedback. Good. So, Likeable Lady emails. I'm just going to scroll down. Okay, so the thing that I'll always do with my Likeable Ladies, I will always first check their word count. So I'm just going to do a quick select of this email. Not looking good. If I've got any emails over 300 bucks, I'm kind of like, sorry, 300 words. Email 2 is looking pretty long. Oh no. Yeah, I think this Word, she's got so many. She's like got really techie stuff happening in her Microsoft Word document. I feel like there's a couple of them that are a little bit long. We need to break some of those up a bit. It's good that you've kept email 5 short. So I feel like 2 and 4 are a bit long. I don't feel like, I kind of know. So just try and shorten that up a little bit. Good photos at the bottom. I like that. That's really good. And yes, I would use the same image in each of your emails so that people get used to seeing your images. Cool, I like that. Awesome. Now, in terms of the, scroll down, in terms of the content, the next thing that I normally do is make sure that it's not too chunky. There's not too many chunky paragraphs. Your mind automatically stops reading when it sees a chunky paragraph. It subconsciously looks at the paragraph and goes, that's hard work and I'm busy. And people will stop reading at that point. So I have a 3-line rule. If it's 3 lines or some, I'll do a couple of 3 lines max, but most of them will be 2 or less lines. And definitely nothing that's 4 lines. So always shorten these out. There's a couple, particularly in email 2, break some of those up, particularly when you're telling stories. Break them up. The way you break them up, and they don't have to be full sentences. You can break them up mid-sentence. The way you break them up is by doing the leading paragraphs where you put the ... new line and carry on. ... new line and carry on. So I was driving down US Route 101 at 7 a.m. on my way to work in a large Silicon Valley company. ... new line. I just returned the night before from a 3-month sabbatical traveling around South America and the Caribbean. Full stop. New line. Taking a 2-week holiday in the US is almost unheard of. ... new line. Let alone taking a 3-month sabbatical. New line. But you know, there we go. And keep on flowing like that. Now, the only other thing is, I'm wondering, that authentic anecdote is supposed to be something. No, that could work. That could work. Because they do want to get a little bit of an insight into you. Usually it's something that's a little more them focused, and we come at it from your angle, but I guess that is them focused to a point. So no, I'm okay with that. So we just need to break up some of those chunky paragraphs, particularly I think email 3 and 4, particularly 4 had some really chunky ones. Just break them up, new line. It'll make your email look longer, but that's okay. It's better to be longer than it is to be chunkier and shorter. But I wonder if there's like, particularly email 2 and 4, if there's a couple of sentences we could cut out or shorten. They're quite wordy, the sentences, so a lot of them need to be, they're kind of 2 sentences. I know they're probably grammatically correct, but for an email, you have to be writing as though you're talking to an 8-year-old, and it's like super simple the way you write. People just are way too busy to read anything chunky. Now, the other thing I'll usually look at is the call to action, making sure that's in every email and it's really clear what you want them to do and why they should do it, what the benefits are for them. Cool. So email 1's got it and it's good. Email 2's got it and it's good. Again, those questions at the bottom of email 2, break them up, new line for each. So, are you sat at your desk right now, or have you just got in from a long day of work? New line. Are your precious vacation days piling up in the HR system instead of in your memories? New line. Or do you need a break to recharge, you know, that kind of stuff? Just break all of those guys up. Cool. I'd take out an email 3, if this sounds good to you, simply click below. I would just say simply click below, be a little bit more direct. And same with email 4. Instead of if this sounds like a great way to spend a holiday, could you swap that out with to take advantage of the the limited spots available and ensure you don't miss out. Simply click below and choose a time to chat with us in the next week. Something like that. Yeah, and then for you, like you still, because you're doing these experiences, you've still got urgency in limited spots available, and I think you just have to use that. It's the same as my event calendars. I could do like 20 events on a weekend because I had enough crew to do it, but there were still limited spots. I'd very rarely book out, but I could book out, and you might be person 21 and I just don't have any crew left to do your event. You know what I mean? So even if the urgency is unlikely to be hit, there's still urgency there because there are still limited spots. If you get super popular, which you will, and you're booking out like crazy, then it is going to be first come first served basis. When they're gone, they're gone. So still use that urgency and just let them know that there are limited spots available on the calendar. And I usually update that every now and then. I'm like, limited spots available on the summer calendar or on the winter calendar, or on the, I used to update that on a regular basis. Every sort of couple of months, I'd go in and just tweak that email so it applied to where they're at then. And I'd get replies to the emails and I'd get calls going, hey, have you got any spots on the summer calendar? I know you're busy, but I was thinking this date. I'd go, yeah, we can make that work, right? So just playing around with that. 1 second, guys, I just got a quick career. Adam's there, he'll deal with it. My dog just charged at the door to try and say hello, and she just took out my knee. Ow. Guess what happened last night, guys? I went to brush my teeth, let her outside to go to the bathroom for about a minute and a half, I reckon, and she got a little local marsupial. Made me really sad. So, joy. The joys of living in in rural Australia. It's really sad. Made me almost want to cry. Poor little marsupial. Don't know what it was. It was disgusting. She brought it inside. So disgusting. I just squealed and she got in so much trouble. She's never done that before. Okay. Oh, gosh, she's got a heavy head. My knee is killing me. That's okay. Okay, next question. I hope that helps. Sam and Neil. It's really weird. Your name says... Hold on. Why did your name say Helen Edwards and now it says Sam? I don't know, but I hope there's not another Helen Edwards that somehow's got her question mixed up with Sam's. Helen, have I got anything in the portal from you? I'll have a quick look. Oh, my knee. 1 second, Helen. I'll just have a quick look at that too. Yeah, no, I don't have anything else from Helen Edwards. Don't know. Maybe Webinar Jam just did something really weird. Okay. Have you received my question in the portal about AdSense? Absolutely. Probably. Let me have a look. So for those that have just joined me, let me know in the portal if you've got a question you've sent. Sorry, let me know in the question box if you've got a question you sent through in the portal, and I'll be able to help in there. Okay, I've been trying to get AdSense connected to my YouTube account, and after 2 failed attempts connecting it to a website, I submitted a new request to... Okay. Interesting. So are you promoting... You're talking about... Sorry, just 1 second. I'm just trying to figure out why the connection to... Why the connection to YouTube? For YouTube advertising? I'm just trying to figure out the AdSense connection. Can you just give me a little bit more details? Are you connecting this because you couldn't be using the Google Hangout platform anymore because that doesn't exist in Webinar Jam? That's one reason why you'd want to connect AdSense. If you're doing Evergreen, it'd be better you use Vimeo. Or are you advertising on Google, either YouTube or Google Ads, and you're trying to get something approved before you launch a webinar? Webinar Jam, I'm just trying to think if I've ever had AdSense connected to mine. I don't think I have. What are you talking about? You're too techie for me. I just don't know why you'd be wanting to do that. Let me know, Esther, and I'll be able to come back to that. Next question is from Jane. Got it, Jane. Finally, we made it. Oh, my knee. Stop complaining, Grace. Stop your whinging. Okay. I don't like it. It's not working at all. I'm trying to make sure it's, no, that's 100%. It's tiny for me. I'm on 100% and it's really small. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the way the offer is being put to people. It's a very expert way to say it, and it will alienate parents who don't know what toy rotation is, or the value of toy rotation, or why they would want to pursue this. The pain point isn't, the pain point for the parent isn't, oh gosh, I don't know how to get my child to rotate their toys. That's not the pain point. The pain point is keeping themselves occupied and engaging them and engaging their brains when they're playing. And, you know, it's not, I need to get my kid to rotate toys more. That's not really what the true pain point is. For parents, it's relying around, around being able to occupy children in ways that are engaging their brains and those kinds of things. So the pain point there, I don't feel is clear enough on that page with the headline, because there's no desire being built in there for people to want to download that, which is the most important part. The only other thing is the background too doesn't, for me, work at all, because it's got wood in the background, which kind of doesn't make sense to me. The image is cool, but again, I don't know why it's on a piece of paper with blue lines on it. That kind of doesn't kind of connect for me. So what are the tips that I would recommend in this case? I would recommend reviewing your headline and making sure that it's focused around them and what their pain points actually are when they wake up in the morning relating to their child, and kind of working with those. Obviously, they've got to relate to your product and service. You're only wanting to attract people who are pre-framed and pre-inclined to be able to purchase your product or service as they move through the funnel. But the first step should definitely be less, you've gone to kind of expert, using terminology that parents wouldn't use. Parents wouldn't catch up with coffee and go, oh, I've been working on toy rotation this week. Like that doesn't, it's not the phrase that they're using, so try and talk in their language more. And they'll probably become fans of this as they move through your funnel, but up front they won't be. So as the first step, you need to be super focused on them and what they're after. Then in terms of the visual, I would personally have the visual of the girl, if that's definitely purchased and you've got permission to use that for commercial purposes. I would have the picture of the girl kind of quite large, and I would have the guide sitting over the top, you know, on like near where her knees are, on the back end of her, or something like that, with an arrow pointing to it. But just I wouldn't have the white paper in the background. And then in terms of the wooden background, that doesn't quite work. There needs to be something relating to your target market, or something that's something that's a little bit simpler. Like you could use that if you're a floor sanding company, or even maybe a home interior, or if you're making kind of organic, I don't know, fruit bowls or fruit baskets, or something that's a little bit more sort of farmers market-y, but not for your product and target market. That doesn't quite work. Also, don't call a page a sign up. I'm sure you're not going to call it sign up, but don't call a page a sign up. It just feels really spammy and salesy. Yeah, so there's a couple of tweaks to that page there. Then on the next page, your doesn't have an apostrophe RE, it's just Y-O-U-R. Your guide will be in your inbox shortly. I reckon your buttons need to all have the same flow. So your colours on your buttons are completely different on this. Both colours on the second page of the buttons are different to each other, and they're both different to the button on the first page. So if you're going to use all capitalised white font, use all capitalised white font. Or if you're going to use capitalised first letter black font, use all capitalised, you know what I mean? So just playing around with that just a little bit. Check out, click, shop all. Over we go. Cool. I like the green on your website. I think you should color match that. So if you want to color match the green on your website, you just take a little screenshot, or if you've got that green in an image anywhere, you just get an image with that green in it. And then you just go to Google color HTML image. If you're in Google and you go color HTML image, in most countries the first thing that pops up will be this link here. I'm just going to copy it and paste it. This will give you a color picker, and you can just click on this. It's free. You just upload your image or your logo or whatever it is that you want to find the green color for. You upload that, and it will grab and you can just click on which color you want to select, and it will grab that color and say, hey, the color code for this color is this, and that'll make sure that it just subconsciously, your brand comes across all of your pages a lot cleaner, a lot better when you've got a color picker to define the exact color green that you're going to use in all of your greens, or for me, the exact color pink I'm going to use in all of my pinks. Otherwise, looks good. I would say valid for 7 days if I were you. And I would say you're invited to check out, and I would say our. I'd use a little bit more our in the way that you're talking. Our range of quality wooden toys with 15% off your first order for the next 7 days. I'd go a 7-day validity period in your case. It's just more of it's not a thing that they have to think too much about. It's more of an impulse, not impulse, but it is more of an impulse purchase. So I would be going more 7 days. Well done. And then obviously the video doesn't work, but I'm assuming that there's a video going in there. You're just probably still working on it. So I hope that helps. Not quite on the mark, but if you make a few tweaks to it, we'll get a lot closer and we can start testing it. Next question is from who's next? Veronica is next. Thanks for the tips last week. They were super helpful. You're welcome. I watched your roadmap. Hold on, I'm just double checking. I answered everything. Yeah. Cool. Veronica, can you give me a little bit more background? I'll just check if you've submitted a question formally. No, give me a little bit more background in the questions then as to how you would define your multiple different target market. So she's looking at her target market and the roadmap that she wants to use. Usually you'll use the same roadmap for your target market, but you probably, so for example, if you're a website builder and you want to specialize in building websites in the healthcare industry and in the, I don't know, wedding industry, well, you'd probably have a really similar funnel flow. Your roadmap would look the same in terms of the steps that you'd need to follow, right? You might need to have a lead magnet as the first step, then request a consult as the second step, then book a calendar appointment, and then, you know, the way that you would design, then you'd have a Facebook ad at the front, all that kind of thing. You'd have to have 5 likable lady emails in there, right? That flow would look very similar, but it's just that you would do it once for the healthcare industry, and finish off the roadmap for that, and then if you wanted to then apply that in the wedding industry, you'd be using all the same kind of things, you'd just be copy pasting and tweaking. So the Facebook ad for the wedding industry compared to the healthcare industry would look very different. So you'd follow a very similar principle, and you'd have the same, you know, account set up, and you'd have the same way that you would be building your ads, just a different message. The lead magnet, again, you'd probably have exactly the same landing page, but just different copy on it with a different lead magnet, again, because you're talking more to healthcare rather than to wedding planners. Same with the consult page. That one would probably look identical. You just have a, maybe the video would just have a sentence differently in it. One where you're talking more to the wedding industry and talking about the experience you've got in that space, and another where you're talking about the experience you've got in the healthcare space. So I always focus on one target market first and nail that if they are so different, like that one example was. If they are a mum and a busy professional woman, if they're like, you know, a corporate woman or a stay-at-home mum, and that's my target market, that's probably even different enough to have two markets. But even, you know, in my example, you know, if they're a startup entrepreneur or if they've been in business for 20 years, my funnel's the same. I just have a different, I just make sure that I talk to both of those people throughout the message. So I might say sentences in my emails, like whether you've been in business for 20 minutes or 20 years, or, you know, I'll just drop things in like that so that they realize that it focuses to them, but I'll be talking more about their shared pain points that all female entrepreneurs struggle if they haven't got a business that's profitable and lifestyle focused. So it depends on how different your market is. If it's similar-ish like mine, same funnel. If it's vastly different, like the initial web design example I gave, same roadmap, same steps will need to happen, but you will have two funnels. You'll just copy and paste the first one and tweak it for the next version. And you'll do one at a time. If you try and do both at the same time, just like become obsessive about wedding planner websites first and just nail that, and then become obsessive about healthcare planning, healthcare websites and nail that. You know what I mean? You just become, the message becomes diluted, you get confused, you're building too much, you're putting too much time into building the business rather than making money from the business, because it takes longer to launch two than it takes to launch one. If you do one at a time, put all your focus, energy, resources, money into one, get that to work, then you can come back and do the other with all of that extra income, experience, confidence, all the stuff that you've learned from the first. It's way quicker the second time. Hope that helps. Karen, at least you didn't get sprayed by a skunk. No, we don't have skunks here. No. Yeah, no, she didn't. I'm hoping, I couldn't tell from when she brought it in. This is quite disgusting. I couldn't tell when she brought in the animal last night, whether it was a rat, a big rat, or, and I hope it's not option B, a baby koala. I hope it's not option B. I would die. I hope it's a rat. Isn't that horrible? All animals are equal. But baby koala, I'm sure it wasn't. It was too skinny for a koala. Oh. Okay. Cool, no worries, Sam. Okay, that makes more sense. Tonya, with my videos, I need landscape. How close do I want the camera to be? Waist up and my head 2/3 to the top. Camera rules. Imagine that your frame, right, your camera frame, has two lines in it, equally dividing the page in this way. So 2 lines there and 2 lines there, right? So it's broken into 3 sections. 2 lines here, 2 lines there. Stuff that's on the lines, like aligning with stuff that's on the lines, works best. So your eyes usually work better if they're on the top line. If you've divided it into 3 sections, if there's 2 lines running through it, dividing it into 3, it usually works better if your eyes are on the top line. And some people say it works better if you're on one of the side lines, particularly if you want to bring in any words to the side. But a lot of my videos I do full center. Just make sure my eyes are on the top line if I were to break the camera into 3, and I go full center. And then the only other thing, I tend to not show below the waist, but I like it low enough so that I can use my hands. I don't want it up here because I have to use my hands up here otherwise, which isn't natural for me. So I like to have it enough so that I've got my hands just nicely resting, probably to the bottom of my elbows is where I usually have it. But I don't want to have my whole like bottom and then bottom half or anything like that in it. You can, but usually you'd have to be too far away and you're not getting close enough. I want to get close enough so that I'm like, what's 2/3? That. My hands down here and in my tummy, near my belly button, probably around there, maybe a bit lower, maybe around my belt line, around there. You can't see it, but you know what I'm trying to do. That was getting embarrassing. Stop that, Grace. Gee, I'm talking fast. Did that help a little bit in the way that I lay out my shots and the way that my... Oh, I must say, my director in New Zealand, whenever I film with him, uses... He goes a little bit deeper. He gets kind of... No, not much deeper. He wouldn't go below the belt line. Try to think of the images. Do you want me to show you some? I'll show you some scenes that worked really well for me. I've got 8 of them and they're all in one page and it's really easy. They'll be right here. Stills. Cool. How do I do this? Share screen. Share screen. Can you see my screen now? Show main screen. I think you can see this now, right? So see that? Enough so I got my hands and a little bit of space above my head. So that's a sitting one where I'm teaching. That's a standing one where I'm selling. So if you can set up a cool scene like that in the background, sure, but sometimes that's pretty hard to do, so I just go white wall. Because also the lighting on getting that scene to work is often really hard too. But if you can, the scene is cool. That's sitting. See how my arms are always in it? That's standing. So that's probably a little bit below the belt line, but I kind of had to as well because of the whiteboard in that scene. Again, hands, again, hands. This is a good white wall example. Little bit above the head. My eyes are probably a little bit above 2/3, aren't they? I reckon the top line on this particular example of 2/3 would probably be around my mouth, wouldn't it? I like that dress. It's a dress. That would be cool as a shirt too, wouldn't it? So I hope they help. Oh, he's such a good director. I love that guy. Okay. Hope that helped. Am I back? I'm back. I was probably there the whole time, wasn't I? Okay. Good question, Tonya. Megan, yes, let me answer your question. I saw yours. Okay. Megan, can you look over my consult funnel? I'm building an online dating profile photography funnel. 3 top dating profile photos that you will need to get a date by this weekend. Cool. It's crazy how many people. I was talking to my headshot photographer. His biggest clientele were online dating sites, Tinder photos, and LinkedIn, obviously. LinkedIn is where the money at, because the Tinder and the online dating people didn't have as many funds. Cool. Is that the photo? So I like the landing pages. It's good. Take out the name from the fields that you're capturing. Only capture email address. Love the testimonials. Love the testimonials on the second page. Thank you for doing that. Well done. I like it when people take the time to do that. So that's looking good. I like the thank you page as well. Well done. The only thing is, I don't like the words today's special deal. No. Even offer, I feel like, is a less salesy word than deal. Free today's special, because you've got today's special deal, free 15-minute phone consultation. I would call it free. No, that kind of works. I just don't like the word special deal. Could we say something like your gift or free gift or something like that, 15-minute phone consultation, and take out the full stop after consultation. I think maybe something around gift or even offer could be a little bit better than deal. But hey, we just test it. We send 100 people to that thank you page, as in we get 100 people to put in their emails and get to that next page, and we just see how that page converts. But I feel like free gift or something like that would work better. And I would make sure that on the thank you page, can we make sure at the top of the thank you page, sorry, not the thank you page, at the top of the free consult page, can we put something in there to acknowledge what they've just done? Something in there that says, you know, thank you, because you've just offered them 3 dating profile photos, downloadable, like guide. Make sure that you tell them at the top, hey, the guide will be in your inbox in the next 10 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, check out the offer below or something like that, right? And putting that in. Cool. And I would probably make sure that the word no obligation is in there somewhere. People just feel like you know, there's strings attached or something, and there's not. You're just willing to have a chat with them and find out if they're a good fit, if they're an ideal client. It'll be an easy conversation. If they're not your ideal client, that'll be fine. So put the word no obligation into those dot points somewhere, and let's give it a go. And now, how do you put the calendar in? So she's going from a Facebook ad to a lead magnet. Then on this page, she's offering them, instead of a commitment of money, she's offering them a commitment of time. So they're putting some time, a 15-minute call with her, by putting their first name, last name, email, phone. Then she would like them to get on the calendar so that she can try and organise a time to chat that works for both of them, and avoid too much phone tag and things like that. So put a page, you've got them going from your first name, last name, email, phone, straight to a thanks, I'll be in touch page. But that's fine, you can go to there, but you won't be able to put a calendar in. If you want to put a calendar in, add a page in between there. Just a normal, I think you're building yours in ClickFunnels, pretty sure. Just a normal ClickFunnels page in there. You can just copy the page before it, right, and just take out some of the stuff, and you can insert in there a calendar. Now your calendar can be set up on 10to8.com or Calendly is a personal favourite of mine, .com, Timely.com. They've all got free versions, or if you want a paid version, I think it's $5 a month. My favourite is Schedule Once, which is what I use. So Schedule Once or Timely, Calendly, or 10to8. Those are great calendar. There's heaps out there, but just if you want to make it quicker, they're my favourites for a number of reasons. Pop one of those on the page that sits in between the free consult page and the thank you page. And once they book, your booking system will say, what do you want to show once they book in their appointment? And you say, show the thank you page. And so, but the good thing is that you can have a normal ClickFunnels page, go and create a calendar in a calendar booking page, and just embed the calendar onto that ClickFunnels page. So you can still have your logo at the top and the same kind of headings so that you've got that congruency as they move through. They're not taken from the special deal over to this Calendly page that looks nothing like the last one they were on. You literally can embed the calendar schedule as a part of a page that already looks the same, similar to the ones that they've been moving through. So that's how you do it. I think I got more training on that in the consult funnel in the Identity Project. Dawn, she sent me a question through the portal that she wants me to have a look at. I hope that helps, Megan. Dawn's question, and then I'll go and see if Esther has submitted hers again. So we're still waiting for yours. Oh yeah, you're clarifying your YouTube side of things. I think you're coming up soon, Esther. Oh no, Esther's logged off. Oh no, Esther. Okay, where was it? Dawn. Just trying to find it. It's not in the office hours. Let me try the Identity Project. No, it's not there as well. Or either. Dawn. Yes, the question hasn't come through in the portal, Dawn. Not under that name anyway. Is there maybe a typo? I'm just having a quick look to see if the emails have the word Dawn in it. No. Can't see a question, Dawn. Can you try and resubmit it and let me know in the question box in the webinar, or just pop the question directly into the question box in the webinar if you can, and I'll be able to help out as best as I can. Oh, you sent me via email. Sorry, we don't receive questions via email. They have to go into the portal. So just jump into Doing Academy. So the Doing Academy. So the full link that you normally use, members.thedoingacademy.com/log-in. members.thedoingacademy.com/log-in, or just go into one of your emails and click on the link in there and enter your logins, and you'll see under the office hours section you can submit a question in there. Alternatively, you can put it in the question box. If you can pop it in there, I'll be able to answer it for you as well. Now, Amber, you are next. Amber's question is, she said I've submitted in the portal, which you have. So I have Weebly for my website, rightio. Okay, and I'm on a 2-year contract. Thanks. She's just giving some feedback on the website module. She's unable to use WordPress because she's got a 2-year contract with Weebly. Wow, I didn't know they did that. That's insane. Oh, such a long time. They have a pretty good email automation system that I'm utilizing. Okay. I want your opinion on my website. It doesn't seem to bring too many leads. That's normally the problem with a Weebly site. How much are you paying for 2 years? Is it really expensive? Cool. She's tried to mimic the pages that we suggest, but she can't have, you know, call to actions on the same line as the logo on navigation. That's not possible. Not a deal breaker. Not helpful, but not a deal breaker. And now she's trying to figure out what her lead magnet is. So I'm going to go and have a look at her website. Cool. So cool. So I'm guessing let's just go to the shop and figure out what you're actually selling so I can try and figure out. So what's your end goal? How are you monetizing this? Do you want to build online programs for makeup artists and teach them how to take things to the next level? Or, because at the moment I can't really see a monetization strategy. You've got a pop-up on this page, by the way. You've got a whole website pop-up. Just don't use the word list. Where it says join our list, don't use list. It's a spammy word. If I were you, I'd give them something like a 7-step checklist to, you know, get your first client within 30 days or something like that. Give them a downloadable there. So your downloadables will be things like, you know, the 4 things I wish I knew before I became a makeup artist, or something about how to get your client, like if it's around clients, how to get your clients in the first however long, or if it's around the talent and the craft itself and you're teaching people makeup artistry, then go that angle. You know, you could go lookbooks, or how to create this stunning, you know, maybe a before after, how to create this stunning, what would you call it, style, how to create this stunning look, you know, in 6 simple steps or something like that, right? So if you're talking about the craft, maybe before after kind of option for a lead magnet, put that in your pop-up as well. So that's how they join your list. They go through you giving them something rather than going through, hey, I'll keep you in the loop. Or it could be a makeup challenge, or it could be a makeup video. A tutorial is even better. Everyone loves makeup tutorial. They go like crazy tutorials. They get clicked on Facebook a lot. You've got quite a few options in your space. Or you could go on, you know, getting your first client in 30 days if that's what you're a genius at. Acquiring new customers as a makeup artist, or acquiring new jobs, gigs as a makeup artist. Got a few options. I'd probably either, if I were you, I'd go the tutorial or the challenge. And I'd do the tutorial by going like before and after and doing a sort of almost a fast-forwarded version of you. The tutorial basically gives you the opportunity to A, teach, but B, also show off in a way that doesn't look like you're showing off, and show how you're an expert and kind of give that authority to you and what you do, give you that credibility, which is really powerful. So yeah, that's kind of the way that I'd be approaching that. So yeah, just how are you monetizing? I'll just scroll down and see if I can see an answer. Cool, having online workshops, workshops and online courses. Perfect, that's exactly where I want it to go. Cool, well done. So, whose question was I answering? Amber, there. Candice and Veronica, you're next. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Now, in terms of the opt-in below the fold there, I don't like the headline. What it takes is cool, and then ... A film about becoming a successful makeup artist really is what should be above the fold in the headline. Then the other thing, the opt-in below the fold, it should have, I would give a lead magnet away there, one of the ones that we're talking about, the tutorial or something like that, and I'll put that aspiring artist colon, new line, put in that call to action, and then only capture an email address. There's no point in this day and age to capture first name and last name. Tailored emails in the inbox are a dime a dozen, so it helps a little bit on open rates, but not as much as it drops when people have to put in all of their details in terms of the conversions. So email only, and then the submit button needs to stand out a bit more. It can't be black. It needs to be like some form of color. It could be a red to pop with the lips on that, her red lipstick. in that visual. You've got a few options there. I know you've got a more subdued brand, but we do need some sort of colour. I think it's not actually black. It's like a dark, really dark navy, purpley, steely kind of thing. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, they're the changes that I would make to that. But at the end of the day, yeah, the offer, if you're looking at that hasn't really brought in many leads, it's because you're not giving them what they really, really want, right? Or because you're not sending enough people to it. So if you're not getting enough traffic, you can easily find that out by looking at your Google Analytics and find out if you are getting any traffic. If you are, the problem why that isn't converting is because the offer's too vague in terms of we'll just give you some support and guidance, where if it was a really direct, specific lead magnet that your market really, really wants that will help to solve a problem, they're far more inclined to put their email into the pop-up and the home page if you do it that way. And then in time, this website definitely wouldn't make any money because the offer isn't kind of connected to cash or product that they pay for. It's very much, which I know right now probably makes sense because you're building the brand without wanting to generate heaps of income until you launch online with online workshops, face-to-face workshops, and online programs. Unless the screenings are paid. Are they paid? Just doing a quick look. Oh no, the screenings are paid. I would definitely have more of a focus on that on the home page. I would definitely have on the left-hand side, above a little about the film, I would have a button saying find a screening near you or something like that to try and get people pushed over to the screenings page as well. But yeah, you're right, it is very limited. If you're locked into a contract with them and you don't want to get out, it can be very expensive. It can be very limited, rather, into what you can do in that platform. Canvas. Just wondering how you've structured automated emails when meeting or chatting with people at networking events and how you've collected people's contact details when out and about. What call to actions are best for those leads? Cool. So this is what I don't really, hold on, 2 seconds. I don't really network anymore because I just don't have time. I'm trying to find the app. So I use Infusionsoft, but there is a free version if you don't use Infusionsoft. I use Infusionsoft, and Infusionsoft have this thing called Snap. Snap allows you to take a photo of someone's credit card, not credit card, take a photo of someone's business card, because people will give you a business card, you take a photo, and it grabs, the camera reader looks at their name, grabs all their contact details, everything, creates a contact form inside my Infusionsoft, my CRM, and then applies, and it automatically can apply a tag to them that will put them into a nurture, right? So I'll often, before I go to the networking event, this is what I used to do when I was doing these, like if I went to a big conference and I knew I'd have lots of people after I spoke coming up and asking me to reach out to them, I'd do this. And I probably should do one for the Tony Robbins event because there's probably going to be a lot of that. So what I did was I take a photo. Now, what I did before the event was went into Infusionsoft and built a little nurture for those guys. So I just copy and paste the last networking event I went to, and instead of saying at the top, great to meet you at, you know, the Businesswomen's event, I'd say great to meet you at Tony Robbins event, and I just kind of tweak it so it replied to where they were at. And then I would normally direct them to, I'd normally leave it really like personal and open. Like if there's anything you need, just hit reply to this email and reach out. Also, I've got this cool little webinar online if to help, you know, answer some questions and get you going. Feel free to jump over and register for it if you want. You can do that here, something like that. Or if I wanted to book in consults or chats after, I'd have a second nurture and a second tag that would be applied. So I'd have one tag I'd apply if it was just like a generic person that just wanted some information, and another one if there was someone that I could see could be a partner or someone I wanted to interview or something like that. And I'd put in that first email, I'd put a link to my calendar so they could go and book in a consult. That was the way that I kind of brought people into my funnels in face-to-face events. There is an alternative, and it is called, I think it's an Evernote version. You know Evernote, I'll just go Evernote Business Card Reader. Business card scanning is an Evernote premium feature. What about because you want it to go into your autoresponder, right? If you're using MailChimp, you want it to go into MailChimp and be able to put into a specific nurture. I don't know if MailChimp do that kind of stuff. I just know Infusionsoft do, and I use Infusionsoft Business Card Scanner MailChimp. There you go. Full Contact is what it's called, card reader, if you're using MailChimp. Or iCapture. Our advanced integration to MailChimp allows you to capture new contact data and populate your MailChimp lists in seconds. So there's a couple of options. I just Googled MailChimp Business Card Scanner. So Full Contact looks like one that MailChimp features in their integrations directory. Does it cost? Doesn't even look like it costs. It doesn't say the word free anywhere, but I can't see any costs relating to it. I'll just go to their website and have a quick look. I just typed in MailChimp Business Card Scanner, and it said this thing about Full Contact. No, it's just an app. It doesn't look like it even costs. So you can download don't quote me on that, but it looks like you can download Full Contact onto your phone and integrate it with a Zapier Zap, which can be free if you don't do them bucket loads, and if you do them bucket loads, it's worth paying $5 or whatever it is. But yeah, Zapier can then send it from Full Contact into your MailChimp account, and you can do the same thing I do in Infusionsoft. That's what this looks like. It's cool. Love it. So there is a version for MailChimp. I hope that helps, Candice. Was that Candice? That was Candice, wasn't it? Yes. Next question is from Veronica. Cool. Oh no, this is just you responding to my other one. Oh no, did I already talk about this? Yes. Yes, okay. That's right. Cool. Cool. Thanks, Karen. Tanya, you're welcome. You're welcome, Megan. Awesome. Let me have a look, Dawn. I'll just hit refresh. Refresh. You've submitted your question in the portal. Sort by name, and there you are. Okay. So, I'm guessing you want me to look at the PDF you've attached. Cool. So she's attached her lead magnet that she wanted me to have a look at. Awesome. Cool. Now there's some things, oh, well done, much better. Much better. There's some things when it comes to lead magnets a lot of people miss. A big one is making sure there's enough content, so it's actually, people don't just get it and go, this took her like 10 seconds to put together, right? So there's heaps of content in this. It's like, I don't know how many pages it is, but it's a lot. Not a lot, it's, I'm going to say 10. At a quick scroll. Then at the end of each section that she talks about, she's also giving people the ability to kind of get engaged and take action. So that's a big one in terms of oh, I thought this had spam, one of those, it looked like just brought me up an error mode about we are rebooting and defragging a computer, but it's not. I thought it was that new scam thing that's going on at the moment. It's okay. I thought I just totally bugged my computer. But she's put a test element at the bottom where they actually have to, she gives them tips on what they should be doing to fix this particular thing that she's just raised with them. And she's then giving them a test to ask questions and getting them to respond, but giving them a bit of blank space to even write that in. So that's looking good. Cool, well done. I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing I'd like to see is, yeah, you got a footer that's linked to your website. Maybe just at the very end, can we just get a page in there at the end of you talking about what the next step is that they're taking towards you, right? Are they booking in a consult? Are they going and buying a program? Are they registering for a workshop? Like, what is it that you want them to do next as that first, next level of commitment towards you? Not a $10,000 something or other, but just a small commitment of time or money towards you. They've given you an email at this point because they've got the downloadable. What's this for you? And you'll be able to see in the program the different options. So I'll just have a final page where you introduce yourself and you let them know what else you've got for them and why that would be amazing for them if they took advantage of that opportunity. Always give them the benefits. Always tell them why this is something they should trust you with and they should take the next step towards. Looking good. Well done. I don't really have any, apart from that, doing that final page with the call to action on it to link over to this page. I don't really have any other change requests for that. Looking good. Valerie, I'm having problems setting up my subdomain on lead pages. Support has sent me some advice, but I'm still lost. Should I just keep bugging their support team? So I usually just use the, are you on WordPress? I usually just use the WordPress login. A WordPress plugin, and if you go to so if you go into into lead pages, and you've got a list of all of your lead pages on the right hand side, how it says ... and you hit on publish, you hit on that ... it brings down the menu. You hit on publish, and then it lets you publish it to a WordPress site. Do it that way. Once it's published on a WordPress site, you're able to it'll give you a plugin. You'll upload that onto your WordPress site, and then you'll be able to see all of the different pages that you've created in lead pages, and you'll be able to set them up on your own domain. Yeah. When you're saying setting up your subdomain, you can actually put them on your own domain. With lead pages, you can put them on your www.gracelever.com. On lead pages, you can put them on your own website because we haven't got payment elements integrated with lead pages. ClickFunnels usually have to put them on a subdomain because you need payments, you need it to be secure. So I hope that helps. Yeah, the support's pretty good, but if I were you, I'd just use the WordPress plugin. If you aren't on a WordPress site, there's further steps on how to do that, how to get lead pages on your own domain if you're using Wix or other platforms like that. But I would definitely, you'll need a web developer to do that. But the web developer, it should be quite a quick process, very quick process. It shouldn't take longer than an afternoon to do quite a few pages. So if you build your 5 pages and then get a web developer, my web developers can do it, the ones that I use in the Philippines or that are in the Doers book, or you can grab a web developer from Upwork, or if you've obviously got a current web developer, they'll be able to put them onto your www, onto your website, and load them onto the back end of that for you. Just get all the pages ready in your funnel, and then they'll be able to do that for you. But if it's in WordPress, you can do it yourself. Just go into the WordPress instructions in the support center of how to put the WordPress plugin onto your website, and then it will show you all the lead pages that you've got in your account. Now, next question. I hope that helps, Valerie. Next question is from, you're welcome, Amber. Sure. Just reading yours, Karen. Karen's just resent in her Facebook copy that she's played around. Much better. Did you just write that just then? Much better. Go live with that. Well done. I didn't want to, I felt like I was being negative towards yours, but I don't want to tell people like, oh, that'll be great, when I know it needs some work. And a lot of people, when I say that's not perfect, get really, like, I had someone the other day saying like they felt shattered when I said, I don't think that will work. I was like, I'm not going to lie to you. But you didn't mope around. You flipping got off your behind and just wrote amazing Facebook copy, exactly what I asked you to do. Well done. Good job. Go live. Check that one out. I'm really impressed. Okay, next question is from, oh, we're running out of time. Cool. Tanya, you sent me a photo of your video setup. Refresh. Can I please have a look at how she set up the lighting? Cool. You're welcome, Valerie. Tonya, T for Tonya. Got it. Click. Is this lighting okay? Yeah, I like it. Well done. She just sent through a photo of her. She looks good. Nice makeup and hair. Nice hair. Nice earrings too. Yeah, that looks good. What camera are you using? Probably an iPhone? Yeah, it's fine. Just tuck your... Have you got a lapel mic on? No, it's just the thing of your belt. That's fine. No, that's all good. Looks great. Yeah. You know what I would do? Can you just raise your camera a little bit? Keep the frame the same, but I feel like the camera's almost looking a little bit up. It's like up at you. Keep the frame the same. It's really hard to explain. I was trying to get Adam to do this the other day when we were filming. So it's kind of like looking, how do I explain this? It's kind of looking like you've got it a bit more down here and you're tilting up and you've got this much above your head, which is good. Keep that much above your head, but just instead of going up, just try and move it up a little bit. Keep the same frame. So literally raise it closer to eye level and just keep the same frame. So look at the photo that you've taken and sent to me and make sure that you've got the same amount above your head and the same little bit below your hands and you'll be good. It just feels like the focus is too much on your hands and not enough on your head. That's all. Otherwise looking good. Well done. Nice little scene there. No, I know it's on the scene, but nice little setup. Okay. Next question. Good girl, Karen. Good girl. Very impressed. Okay. Last few questions. Got 6 minutes left. Oh man, people keep on submitting questions. This week's massive. It's like the biggest week by about 3 times what I normally receive. That's okay. It's a bit weird, but that's fine. Okay. Annie's question, how can I further promote you and the Doing Academy as a current affiliate? Firstly, thank you, Annie. Annie is a gem. Annie is like one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. She lives here in Adelaide and she's the sweetest. She's like a mother hen. She's always like looking out for me. She couldn't be my mother. She's too young for that, but she's very lovely and always, looking out for me, asking, how much lifestyle I'm focusing on and am I working too much and you're focusing on your true passion and all the things that I want to create. So she's gorgeous. Now, she's been telling everyone about the Doing Academy, and you deserve to get paid for doing that, which is what Annie's had in the past. But we've just changed over 6 months ago from Australian and US currency to US currency only, apart from old members that are Australian, able to stay on Australian dollar. We just had to get one currency that worked all over the world because our banks, our accountants, the amount of amount of currencies that we're in, which is now currently about 23, just becomes a nightmare. And you can't say, oh, for you in Canadian dollar, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. We just have to stick with a global currency. So when that happened, it threw out all of my affiliate stuff, which is why I haven't been promoting it lately, because my members, it's kind of, I had to swap systems. It was a nightmare. So we're in the process of rebuilding all of that so that you can get your own links and automatically track people that you're referring to the US dollar payments. And then it comes through in US dollars for you and you get paid in US dollars as well, and then it transfers to your own currency when you get paid. So that's been a bit of a nightmare. Can you pause with me for like, I could do it manually. You could send through an email to my community and say, hey, I've just referred this particular person. Let me know if they get any, if they join and they're any affiliate. partnerships with that. We can't do it after the person's paid, but we can usually do it before, because otherwise people could just go in and say, hey, I know, they could look in the Facebook group and go, I know Jane Smith, can I get paid for referring her? You know, we've had 1 or 2 people try that in the past, which is a bit weird. So it always has to be before. I would trust you though, Annie, because I know you. But yeah, can you give me like 3 to 4 weeks? The one person in my team who I'm getting to finish that off is going away to play in an AFL Championships in London, because she's like in the Canadian AFL team. Amazing, just footy for those in the States. But she needs time and space to be able to work on that and give that the love it deserves, which she doesn't have right now. So we were aiming to have that ready in June. What is it now? May. So if you can bear with me, Annie, I'll be able to help you out, and you can get, go Tanya, you can get rewarded for being such an awesome doer and celebrating women. We're taking massive imperfect action. Belinda Campbell, your question, what's your opinion on purchasing for a DIY website, WordPress website, either Akismet or Jetpack? These are two, what she's talking about are 2 plugins, I guess, that are spam bot stuff. I've got the hiccups now. Stopping robots coming to your website. We had that last week where a robot came and used 200 stolen cards to buy the $1 trial. They're like phishing the cards, so testing it on our site to see if the dollar worked. They all did. And then probably going and scamming that person for a lot more money. So yeah, with the you definitely need that protection, you definitely need that cyber security. That's not something I'd like to give advice on, because every website is different, and it depends on the plugins that you've already got on your website. So some of the security or the spam bot checkers and things like that can break parts of your website because the plugins don't talk to each other. So that really is best left to a developer. You can check out, just so they can see the back end of your website, see what's going on, and recommend the best security element for it. You can check out my web developers that I use in the Philippines. If you go to doersbook.thedoingacademy.com, doersbook.thedoingacademy.com. Look for Anna in there. Anna has a team. I work with 3 of her staff on a full-time basis, and she's got a great team there. And she'll have one of her developers that she can put onto that. It's $10 an hour US, I think. It shouldn't take long. It'll be like an afternoon job just to try and figure out what you got on your site and put it on. It should be like $40-50 to get it secure. One more question. Time for one more. Answered that. I've answered that. I've answered that. Can't answer that one because she's given me, oh no, maybe. Sometimes people give me the link to inside their Facebook account, but she's given me a link, I think an external link. Good girl, she has. Cool. So, what are you showing me this for? Wondering if you have any comments on my ad before I go live. The way that you've written your Facebook ad isn't aligned with my Facebook ad training. So jump into my Facebook ad training inside the Doing Academy portal, inside the paid traffic section. Look at the Facebook training video. There's one on ad copywriting in there. Look at the way that I recommend you write your ad, because just the top text part, I can see you've started to put some of the principles in the bottom part of the ad, but the image has the black background, which won't work. And I just, if I were you, I'd get a photo of you standing in front of a white wall smiling with some blank space to the side. And white wall, like you get off to this one side of the camera, and then have the guide. You can then paste the guide in with an arrow beside yourself when you get the photo up onto your computer. So take a photo of you with some blank space, and then you can use that to put what your offer is on top of it for your image. The other one is, yeah, the copy above the image, the copy isn't right. So just jump back into the training and have a good look at the copywriting training in there. Cool, cool. Okay, we have hit time. I had better roll. And thank you so much for joining me. What I'm going to do is let you, I'll just quickly close that, let you go, let you keep on building. I hope that's been helpful, whether you've stayed in and listened to other people's answers as well to get the most out of your time in here, or whether you've got your question answered and run off. Either is fine, but I hope that's been really helpful in helping you continue to move forward. Oh, Esther, I didn't answer your question, but I was asking you to give me some feedback. Can I quickly answer yours? Can you give me some feedback on why you're using AdSense? Because that didn't come through for me. I'll just double check the chat. It's not in there. Esther. Yeah, I really want to answer your question. It says you're live. I'd really love you to pop in down the bottom, Esther. Oh, cool. Oh, don't set up monetization. That's why you're doing it. Don't set up the monetization section. You can easily track it in whatever system you use to take your money. Like, it's totally fine. Don't set up monetization. It won't impact your optimization, the way that Facebook sends traffic, the conversion rates inside the website, inside the webinar. It's not like being used to make anything optimized. It's just being used to tell you how much money you made and do some division. But it's all, I don't actually use the monetization part in Webinar Jam. I don't do that. I use Webinar Jam as the webinar platform, and then I just go in, and each day I just, in a spreadsheet, each day I say, how many clicks did I get on Facebook? How much did I spend on Facebook? As a result, what was the cost of my clicks? Then I say how many emails are in my autoresponder. And therefore, based on what I spend, how much those emails cost me. And then I say how many sales did I make? What's the total value of that sale, of those sales? That's kind of the way that I work it out. So I have like 6 or 7 columns, and I just have my assistant populate that every day with my results. And I only need, you could totally track it every 3 days. Just get someone to pop in for 5 minutes and enter those numbers from your sales, whatever you use to track your sales, from your autoresponder, and from Facebook for the clicks and the spend. You could totally get someone to do that every 3 days, but just because of the amount of money that I'm spending every day, I have to watch it daily, because if something happens, I need to make a change. So that's why mine's done daily, but every 3 days or even every week for some people until you're spending massive volume is totally fine. So I hope that helps, Esther. I wouldn't get confused. You can totally use Webinar Jam. Yeah, exactly right. Totally use Webinar Jam. Set up Webinar Jam also, normally, but just avoid the monetization part. I think you can just turn monetization off and just go to the next step. Yeah, that's how I do it. I hope that helps. Okay, guys, have a lovely week, and I will see you in the next live session if you need anything further. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the Facebook group in between. See you guys. Thanks for joining me. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Esther. I'm sorry that took so long to answer it. Talk soon, guys. Bye.